I am so happy that I can hear you and we're not having technical difficulties. The reason I want to start with you and your team, Jennifer, is because I continue to be amazed as to how many small businesses are either underestimate the buying power of the school board or they're just simply not aware of the enormous amount of procurement opportunities that are made available through the school board. And so I'd like to start with you because in addition to providing the list of contracting opportunities that I know you've come to present, I want you to inform these micro businesses. We have so many coaching businesses, we have so many training facilities, and then now a lot of our small businesses are now reinventing themselves to be able to offer training, and they're calling me daily. And what I want businesses to understand, and I'm really echoing Mr. McDonald, is that we're going to have to think of ways to reinvent ourselves. If you offer an educational platform, you should definitely have the school board. There are school boards in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County. And it's amazing to me that not as many small businesses are tapping into this amazing opportunity. So, in addition to your list, can you please, Jennifer and your team, let them know what they need to do to present their offerings to the school board? Are these services, is there a way for these consultants to present what we come to know as an unsolicited proposal? And or do they have to have an opportunity to present the proposal to somewhere? Make sure in your presentation that you empower them with as much information as you can so that a lot of these coaching and training consultants that are locally can really position themselves post COVID-19 to do business with the school board. Without further ado, take it over, Ms. Jennifer.
Well, thank you, Karen. And again, good afternoon. We're so excited to be here. And I have several of my team members on the line. So we'll try to touch upon a lot of different areas that Karen mentioned. So the first thing that you must do in order to do business with Miami-Dade County Public Schools is become a vendor. So if you have not done the paper application to be a vendor and gotten your vendor number, that's how you should start. Once you do that very easy process, once you complete that, and it only takes a few days, you'll get your vendor number. Then, if you're eligible, we would ask that you get certified with our office, the Office of Economic Opportunity. So, if you're a micro or small women, minority owned business or veteran, then you should get certified. And the certification will help you once you start to complete bids and quotes and proposals because we do have goals that we put on the majority of anything over $50,000 has a goal for small, micro, and or minority women. So you want to make sure that you get certified with our office because it'll help you once you get to that level of competition. Now, because of COVID-19, as Karen said, we have suspended most of our purchasing during this time. However, we're doing emergency purchases. So if you have anything in the arena of PPE, supplies, materials. We're looking for masks and gloves, like everyone else, of course. But if you're in that arena, or if you have someone that you can pair up with and do some type of joint venture in that arena, then please contact us. Now, Karen alluded to it also earlier. If you're going to try to contact principals at school sites or anyone at the district office, you must be a registered lobbyist first. There is a fee with that. It's $250 for the year, and our fiscal year starts, as many of you, on July 1st. So I wouldn't do it now because you won't get your money's worth since we only have a few more weeks. But come July 1st, I would encourage you to become a lobbyist. And again, you can find that form as well as where to make the payment to on our dateschools.website. Once you become a lobbyist, then that allows you to actually promote your good or service to anybody in the school system. And we're actually changing. I'm not sure if he was having some problems, Mario D Barros, our procurement officer, logging in. But if he's on the line, we're actually taking to the board in June a change in our lobbyist policy to help our small certified firms. So if you're certified with our office and you pay the $250, now instead of just one person, you can actually have two people as registered lobbyists. So I call it a BOGO, a buy one, get one free opportunity. And again, we did that in an effort to help our micro and small minority women owned firms. So also, even though we're COVID-19 and we're freezing all of our regular spending, I want you to know we spend $500 million a year. So we do offer a lot of opportunities. So if you're not registered with us, as Karen said, you should, if you're in that arena of almost anything with dealing with goods and services to children, to students, if you do professional development that our teachers or administrators can benefit from, you should be registered with Miami-Dade Public Schools, Broward, and Palm Beach. We have reciprocal agreements, and so it makes the process that much easier. We're all using the B2G system. So once you certify with one entity, then it makes it very easy to reuse those same documents, and you get a modified application process, which is much shorter, and you can get registered and certified with all of us. So as Karen mentioned, we have many opportunities though still on the horizon once we reopen. So we actually have a plan for what we call Restart, Revive, and Reignite. And I'm not sure if I can share my screen or Karen's going to share it, but it will show you some of our upcoming opportunities that we have on the horizon starting in June. And already we're starting to return to work on a modified schedule. So we already have a presence in the office as many of us continue to work from home. But Thursday, we're doing a great event. I would invite anybody who's in the arena of food and nutrition. We are having a virtual Zoom matchmaking event with, I call it our big three. So our biggest three areas that do purchasing in terms of dollar amounts are food and nutrition, ITS, and transportation. So we have three virtual meetings that will be scheduled, and the first is food and nutrition this Thursday. So we're looking for people who sell bagels, who package juice pouches. Now, there are a lot of USDA requirements when you get into this arena of food nutrition. So we're going to have all of our experts on. Penny Parham, who is in charge of that department, will be on the line with her staff to answer questions and help navigate you through that process. So that's the first one. And then also ITS, if you have printers, computers, anything, especially as we continue to do remote and distance learning. So that's something, again, you can partner with someone else maybe who has expertise, and you all can combine forces to do a RFP in the very near future on any of these items that will be coming to us. Karen, can you show that screen or?
You are able to share your screen. We set it
Okay.
up so that you can just hit the share screen.
So bear with me because I don't see that option on my end. But
You can continue. My team and I are looking to pull up
okay.
your presentation, and we can
But
have it available
okay.
for you.
But we do have many opportunities on the horizon, as well as security is another, as you can imagine, another big area in which we do a lot of purchasing. So if you have uniforms for security, police equipment, that's another area that we'll be looking at coming June. Class rings and class pictures. So any photographers that are out there, we'll be doing school pictures. We do the individual ones. We do large group pictures. Well, we'll see how that works now with social distancing. So a lot of things are going to be changing. But again, if you can work with others, or if you're in this arena, please reach out to us. We'll be providing our information as well in the chat box. So we will include our email information, our website, and all of our social media, because that's a great way to follow us and stay abreast of all of the opportunities. Now, one thing we're doing during this COVID-19 is all the purchases are emergency purchases. So usually they have a very quick turnaround time, usually 48 hours. So we have staff in the office that actually reach out and call our vendors so you don't miss out on any opportunities. So if you're certified with us and something is out that your NIGP code is registered for, you will actually receive a phone call and an email from probably Eric Bryant or George Wright will call you personally so that you don't miss out on any opportunities during this time. So I encourage you to stay actively involved and engaged with our office and with Miami-Dade County Public Schools. There we are. So you can see all of the different opportunities we have. Now, one thing that we've been able to take advantage of during this time is really our GOB projects. That's our facilities projects. So again, if you're in construction or if you're a subcontractor or a prime contractor, you can get pre-qualified as well with our office, as well as certified and a vendor number. So it's three separate things, but we are accelerating our projects since we don't have students in school. So we're really taking advantage of the fact that the schools are empty, and we're using this time wisely to accelerate all of our facilities projects. So those are moving along quickly. We have projects out to bid right now, and we're continuing. And all of those projects have mandatory goals that are on them. So we must meet those subcontractor goals for minority and women participation. And during this time, we're also transitioning to BidSync so that our contractors can submit those bids electronically. However, if you need to drop it off, we're still making that available too. And you see the address there of where you can physically go to drop it off if you are having any technology issues and can't submit via email. So we're trying to offer different venues to meet everybody's needs during this difficult time. And Karen, I don't know if you want to take questions now or wait until the end of the session for some Q&A as
Well,
well.
Jennifer, we're having individuals. If you would like to, throughout this, we have our participants on the muted version. And what we'd like you to do if you're an attendee and you have a particular question for a specific presenter, please email that. And we have a Q&A access that you can send your Q&A in and indicate which presenter that you are directing your question to, and they will be responding to your questions during the webinar when they are not speaking. Any particular questions that you have specifically for me or the bid program, please allow me to respond to you at the conclusion of the webinar once I'm done. And so, Jennifer, one of the things that you said while you were doing the presentation is the idea of businesses having to go on and become a lobbyist. Well, you know, they're very scary and not always understandable by our micro and small businesses. Do you have to be an attorney to become a lobbyist? Do you need any particular expertise? How does any small business that wants to do business with the school board will have to position themselves as a lobbyist first?
Yeah, so if you would like to have a conversation or send your information to anyone, and that's whether it's US mail, email, but once you really start to solicit any business from any school board member or employee, you must be a registered lobbyist. And it's not a difficult process. It's a very simple application and you pay the fee. So you do not have to be an attorney. It's just for anyone who wishes to solicit information or their information to anybody who works for the school board. So that but we just always operate with a sense of transparency. So you must be a registered lobbyist. And again, based on feedback that we got from one of our certified firms at an outreach event, we were able to change our policy because we know that it can be very expensive if you have 4 or 5 employees. That could be upwards of $1,000, and that's why we're changing the policy now so that you can at least have 2 people for the one fee of $250.
And this is a great way for those micro businesses that cannot survive or do as well with the solicitation process against other very experienced company to be able to come in and do what we know in our agency is an unsolicited proposal that will allow them to present their materials without having to go through the full solicitation process. Thank you so
Karen,
much,
and
Jennifer.
I want to remind your participants. I know I only have a few minutes, and we have a large panel, but we are the 4th largest school district with over 350 schools. So you do have access to several people with buying power because the principals directly themselves can make purchases for anything less than $50,000. They can, so they are the decision maker for those items at their school. So you want to be able to speak to them, have those conversations with
That's
them,
right.
meet with them if you're in that arena. And so once we do get back up and running, I really would encourage after July 1st for people to register as a lobbyist, and they can do those unsolicited, solicitations, as you mentioned. So it's a great opportunity for businesses to promote themselves.
Knowledge really is power. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Now that we've covered Dade County, it makes sense to go right to Broward County. And we have from Broward County none other than Mr. Sandy Mcdonald. Now, when given this opportunity to come aboard and assist the City of Miramar in developing the Business Inclusion and Diversity Program, this is the first person that I called and made an appointment. Mr. Sandy Mcdonald has been a source of wisdom for not only his peers like myself, but minority, small, disadvantaged businesses. He is a proponent of doing all that he can and ensuring that he and his program and the county at large continues to implement measures to ensure more inclusion for minority businesses, to ensure that the buying power to minority businesses increases on an annual basis. He is the mentor by which many of us are modeling our programs and looking forward to the things and the new innovative ways in which he's including other businesses. So, Mr. McDonald, thank you so much for joining us. I know you have a list of upcoming contracting opportunities as well, but I'd like you to also, like Ms. Jennifer, empower these small businesses to let them know of any support measures that you and your team, because I've been on several of your webinars and I'm quite impressed with the support systems that you put in place for to assist and sustain businesses during this COVID-19. And also, I'd like you to inform them whether or not they can take advantage of any systems that you have in place that's going to help them to be able, especially those micro firms that struggle with the solicitation process. What does the Broward County have in place that can allow them to do these unsolicited proposals or perhaps get their services in front of key individuals without having to go through the entire, because most, as you know, fail in this area. And so we're working collectively as stakeholders to see if we can minimize some of those barriers to provide more inclusion. Without further ado, Mr. Sandy Mcdonald.
Well, good afternoon, and thank you, Karen, for having me. And hello to my colleagues down to the north and the south. Good to see you. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, Mr. Hayden. On behalf of Broward County, we want to thank Miramar for this opportunity. Again, even with COVID, pre-COVID, and certainly post-COVID, Broward's job is to make sure that we can support, reinforce, and drive real substantive opportunities to our small businesses. At the end of the day, I do get to own it, as the small businesses get to own it. You chose to go into business, so I don't get to beat you up for that. That was a real choice. But since you've chosen to go into business, and I happen to be a government who says they're committed to the use of small business, then it's my job to make sure we can connect that bridge. So if substantively you are who you say you are, and you're able to demonstrate and present your skills, your qualifications, and your services, and deliver your product, and if the county says that we have a program, and as of May 8th, 2018, we now say at least 25% of what we procure, we want to procure from small businesses in Broward who are certified with us, then again, my office, my staff, our job is to connect that bridge. So again, Karen, we're thanking you for this opportunity today, because in addition to our workshops, in addition to our virtual workshops, we want to spend as much time with our community partners, our municipalities, as possible to get the message out. And with my partners to the north and the south, for my small businesses, we get it. There's over 68,000 businesses in Broward County. And I still have a robust set of small businesses in Palm Beach. I still have a robust set of small businesses in Miami-Dade. So can you imagine, for a community known as South Florida with 6 million residents, my county alone has 68,000 plus small businesses. So we recognize that there has to be an opportunity for the small business, and we all know SBA look at small as 1 to 500 employees. But in case you didn't know, On behalf of the United States, according to the SBA records, 89% of the businesses in the country, 89% have 20 employees or less. That's our micro businesses. That's our true entrepreneurial startup, 1099, independent contractor, even my Uber folks at World now called gig. Those are our smallest of small businesses. So again, and I'll speak to something that Karen did mention, we don't have the unsolicited proposal route. And Jennifer shared with you where she is in terms of their procurement, 50,000 and over. But we do use our CABs, county agency buyers. And we want to make sure our smallest of small businesses, when it comes to goods, products, materials, and services, we hold CAB reverse trade shows. So before COVID, we would bring our cabs in a room. That's all county agency buyers. And for the little things that I purchase on a regular basis, 800 here, 1200 here, 1700 here, 3500 here, those smallest of small, especially for products and services, those cabs are the folks that our small businesses need to meet. We've just changed that for all of that procurement, which is direct procurement. It doesn't go through a full system like BidSync, and I'm going to talk about that shortly. These are opportunities where cabs throughout county agencies can procure this service by getting 3 quotes. But there's a new policy written. 2 of those 3 got to be my small businesses. So we still want to make sure I have the small businesses and the smallest of small businesses in our directory. So to start off this part of my presentation, the first thing all small businesses need to know, I am Broward County, and through our procurement, we use BidSync. BidSync is the portal or the procurement software that we're currently using. It is free. BidSync is a national software. They've been a national software forever, and they'll always try to get you to buy something. If you want to know the bids in Texas, California, Michigan, New York, they're going to sell you products that can help to get those bids. If you want to know what Broward County government is buying, you can go to BidSync. You can register for free. The county has already paid that tab for prime contractors and small businesses to register to be a county vendor through BidSync for free. So even when you're on that site, I'll guarantee you, if you're an existing account holder or if you're brand new, they're going to shoot you an advertisement about buy this. Stick with that blue box. That's for free. That affords you everything the county is buying. You have access to that. So that's the first thing we want someone to do, even if you don't plan on becoming a certified small business with me. Even if you're not interested in what I talked about briefly about the county agency buyers. If you want to be aware of what Broward County is procuring, if you want to have some idea which prime contractors are procuring our larger contracts that has that at least 25% goal on, even if you just want to be nosy about taking a look at operations and processes and how descriptive we are in bids, RFPs, and RLI, you get to register on BidSync for free. And once registered, based on the NAICS codes, the North American Industry Codes that you set up, when the county agencies through procurement are buying those goods, services, or material, you're going to get that notification. And the other thing we tell our small businesses, even before you get certified with it, play with some of those bids. At least learn the bid system. Learn how to upload your document. Take advantage of the Q&A period. Folks always say, why should I? You should take advantage of the Q&A period because it's a better way of getting the devil in the details, not only about the bid, but off of what you do to make sure that that's what the county's looking for. I make sure that I tell my small businesses to go in and play with some bids, even if you're not trying to win. You need to understand that process before you really are applying for a bid. And you also need to understand what your opportunities are by making sure that you're engaging this system. So again, BidSync is free. We want to make sure all of our small businesses, whether you get certified with us or not, are registered as a county vendor. When you sign up with BidSync, you get an email in about 20 minutes or less giving you your county vendor ID. You are now a Broward County vendor once you sign up on BidSync. Then you want to talk to my office. Then you want to talk to us. You want to give us a chance based on your good, material, or service to take a look, and we'll do this for you. Give me about 2 weeks. I'll go back to about 3 years, maybe 5, based on your industry. And I'll take a look at the good material or service you provide, and I'll see from the county's history, who's brought that good material or service? How many agencies buy that good material or service? Because what I want to be assured is that if you are a small business, you don't have time to waste time, not even with me. So the county buys a lot. Airport, Port Everglades, Convention and Visitors Bureau. We run our own transportation. You got county roads, you got county parks, you got county offices. We do consulting service. The county buys a lot. But I'm also the first person to say we don't buy everything. So it makes sense that openly, my office is willing to work with any proposed new small business and existing businesses. Think about it. You might want to come back around and talk about expanding your existing NAICS codes based on current certification. We will go take a look at your good material or service. And then we'll give you a list of who in the county agencies, including if it's multiple agencies, have purchased within the last year, 2, 3, and in some industries 5, who's purchased your goods or services. Now you have a chance to make a business decision. Remember, this is always business. Now you have a chance to make a business decision. I'm already a county vendor, so I can just wait till I get a bid. Nope, let me kind of find out who buys my stuff. Because if I see that it's robust activity, now as a small business, I want to get certified. Yep, I'm still going to be getting bids even before I get certified, but at least I'm committed to getting certified. Why? Because I now know there's 1 or 2, 2 or 3, or 3 or 4 agencies that buy my good material or service. So though nothing's free, at least I now know I can be competitive. I know which agencies to target. I know when I go to some of Mr. McDonald's future websites, I want to talk about these agencies. I want to be interested in these bids, so I don't have to waste my time with the others. So the whole idea is we want to help you to narrow, to understand, as you're going through the certification process, who buys that good material and service. Because I do one of the additional workshops for all my small businesses now. I've been doing it for about 2 years. And it's called Certified Now What? What I don't want is a small business. You already hard, you're already working. I don't want a small business to get certified. And then I look up 8 months, a year later, 2 years later, and you haven't engaged the process at all. So I hold a workshop called Certified Now What? Because I try to make sure every small business understands from Broward County's perspective, government procurement. Talk about 3 Ps, program, process, and people. After you get into BidSync, after my staff run that list to show you how robust, based on what you do, we do it. After you decide, if you decide for free to also get certified as one of Broward's small businesses to compete in that process, where at least 25% of what we buy, we want to buy from the folks that's in my directory, then you want my Certified Now What workshop. Because I need to make sure you understand there's opportunities, even during COVID. We used to do lots of meets and greets, physical meet and greets. We're going to have to be doing them virtual. But I'm not only going to be doing them virtual with you, I'm doing the same with the prime. Primes now know, hey, I used to bring you in a room so my small businesses can meet you. And that used to be group meetings. But now primes also are being told, hey, give me real names and real numbers. Because I'm also giving all my small businesses real names and real numbers, because they have a right to find ways creatively as a small business to introduce themselves to these primes. Yes, I'm still going to hold virtual workshops where primes and upcoming projects have a chance to meet my small businesses. But think about it. If I'm a business, even when I was doing physical workshops, I'm like, thank you, Sandy. I had my, my 3 or 4 minutes in front of that prime, and I hope he or she kind of remembers me. But the reality is, whether I was doing a physical meet and greet or whether I'm talking about a futuristic virtual meet and greet, as a small business, and even if I get my 90-second pitch in, I still want to be able to follow up with someone and make sure I familiarize myself and they become familiar with me, because if not this project, I want to be on that next project. We recognize that small businesses recognize how important relationships, and my 3rd P, people, really are. We get it. from county agencies to procurement to this office, you just want to know, how do I truly get in this game? And that's that second P, process. The thing I want to make sure all of our small businesses know, which comes out of that workshop, is how to navigate our process. At the end of the day, I can actually say, and this is what I teach in the Certified Now What workshop, if you wait for the bid and for the potential meet and greet, that's good, but you're already late. You're already late because, again, if this is a reoccurring contract, if this is a good material or service that's been procured by the county before, if this is a project that's similar to previous projects, you already have access to information that can tell you some of the most likely primes who'll be bidding. And you got to remember, if you're trying to be a subcontractor, you want to know who they are, whether it's contract time or not, because you want to make sure that they are aware of who you are. So when the prime is preparing his or her package to submit, they don't have to run around guessing which CBE I'm going to use out of the directory. They get to remember you. And again, meet and greets, even the virtual ones, they're good. But isn't it better that the prime comes into the virtual meet and greet? And by the time you are allowed to introduce yourself, he or she is reminded, oh, this is the person who did call me last week. Oh, this is the person who I got their capability statements 2 months ago. Again, you are creating relationships. So what we do want to say, understanding and respecting this thing called COVID, we too are finding creative ways to make sure that we can continue to make sure our small businesses get direct contact with these prime contractors, with the county. We're government, we're just into the extension of the phase 1 reopening, but for the record, we didn't stop in terms of our procurement, our goods and our services. I'm gonna talk to you about 3 projects and one that's still going. It didn't stop when COVID came. Construction was considered an essential service, so we kept those projects going. Janitorial and cleaning was an extended service. We actually increased those contracts with our existing firms because we wanted to get more sanitation, more cleaning than what we were regularly doing in all of our other facilities. So again, we want to make sure that through this office, you do understand that it's our job not just to get you certified. That's not it. You can get certified without me. Again, it's free. You can go online. We got YouTube videos. It'll walk you through. You can do that. But how can we truly help you to understand our program, our process, and introduce you to the people where there's real opportunities? And again, this is also being spoken to my micro businesses, the smallest of the smalls. I need you to understand our entire title is the Office of Economic and Small Business Development. We have a very strong small business program that works within county's procurement to assure small business participation. But on the economic development side, that's what we're talking about, my mom and pops. That's what we're talking about, the micro businesses. We want to make sure that you're growing in the right direction. And again, the county doesn't have all the answers. So it's through our community partners. We want to make sure you have access to capital, access to business plans, access to engaging or comparing your market, access into testing or realizing on the beta side your product. We want to make sure that your start is a substantive start. As an economic development director, the worst thing that could ever happen is not me starting businesses, but at the end of the day, within those first 3 years, some to a max of 5, those businesses closing. Unacceptable. So we want to give as much information, as much support, as many resources as possible to the smallest of small businesses. So again, though our procurement is really about engaging businesses at a certain dollar value, it doesn't take away from the mom and pops where the county might not be buying your good material or service, but I got an economic development side of this office that we could probably still be of some support to you. And whether that's creating a bridge for the procurement side, or whether it's just driving the marketing and the understanding of your industry and what your opportunities might be. So I definitely want you to remember our website, which is broward.org/econdev. You can get all the information that we have regarding our program, even our federal program for the DBE and ACDBE, which is for minority and women businesses exclusively. All of that's on our website. But when it also comes to some of the resources and technical assistance while we're still dealing with this COVID, I do want you to go to BROWARD.org. When you get to BROWARD.org, then look for coronavirus. I have a page dealing with COVID-19 that will tell you everything about federal resources, technical assistance, and everything I know about COVID, everything that I know is available to the micro business, to the small business, to the medium-sized businesses, that information would be there. So I have, which is on the screen, that's my website, broward.org/econdev, and you also have my phone number. That's how you reach me and my staff. But I definitely want you to just keep in mind, COVID related, just do the broward.org and click the coronavirus. That's my information about how you can also get some assistance. But on the other slide, I want to start talking to you about some of the projects I need you to be aware of. These are things that are taking place right now. Some of these projects are going to be some of the same projects. That's the slide right there. That's going to help us come out of COVID. It's going to help us stabilize our community as well as jumpstart activity for our small business community, because we already got some dollars in the bank. That top right, 1,075,000,000, that's the convention center. That's the expansion of the existing convention center. And it's a new 4-star hotel. Our signature flag is Omni. So we all know it's only today that we just gave the phase 1 expanded reopening of all of our hotels in Broward County, and even those are limited. So as you can imagine, there's some questions. Hey, Sandy, you in this COVID piece, are you still going to build the hotel? It's still our plan and intent to build the hotel. But while we're going through COVID like everyone else, I still have over $600 million of active activity as we speak for the expansion of the convention center before we decide where we are this time next year for the hotel. So I want you to know that if you're in those construction related services, and you can just close your eyes and imagine all the different things that it takes to expand a convention center and eventually build a 4-star 800-room hotel. Those goods, materials, and services are still being procured. Matthew Southwest is the prime contractor who won it as the developer, and Balfour Beatty is the prime contractor or general contractor for Matthew Southwest, who we work with on a monthly basis. So stay tuned, because when we get to the 3rd week of June, there'll be another announcement about some July, August bid opportunities that'll be coming up for the convention center. But you heard me right. I'm going to share the information in June, so a person or a business can begin to navigate their opportunities before the bid ever hits in July or August. We try as much as possible, not only with existing contracts, but with all proposed contracts, to get information out to our small businesses as soon as possible. So that's still $1 billion when it's all said and done, even with this COVID slowing some activity, not stopping it, that we're still going to be moving towards what happens with this convention center. Below the convention center, you see $1 billion for the port. And the port really is no different. Actually, it's a tad bit worse than the convention center scenario. We all know when COVID hit, nobody was getting on any more cruises. We know we got some cruise lines talking about downsizing and some talking about going out of business. But again, even while they're deciding how they're going to bring their industry back, and trust me, the cruises are going to bring their industry back. But even while they're making that decision, how they too are going to pivot and retool their operations, we have these funds because we always needed to do the deepening and the widening of our port so we can take in the larger cargo ships from Panama Canal. So we're going to spend that $1 billion deepening and widening our port. So those are also going to be some marine related services as well as some construction related services to do that. And that's another $1 billion that at the end of the day, all 3 of these projects are something that 2 commission meetings ago, the commission is challenging county administration and county agencies, including our office. We're going to need some assistance because of the lack of jobs, because of the lack of private investment. We're going to need some assistance in supporting the jumpstart or the re-jump of our economy. So the county is asking the county administrator and the agencies, any and all projects you have that we can expedite, some that may have been scheduled for the middle of next year, any that we can truly expedite to bring on at the beginning of next year or the end of this year, we want to do so. So this is why for the FLL, for our airport, the new master plan to address what is over 36 million passengers who come through the airport, similar to the port and what's taking place with the cruises. As you can imagine, the airports and travel is down as well. We do expect the airlines to come back. One or two might come back in a partial way because they were bleeding about $1 million a day per airline. We get that, but we know our airlines are going to be rebus again. But as a part of that process, there was already a master plan rolling out for new improvements to the airport on top of the improvements you've been seeing for the last 7 to 8 years. So that 3.2 billion is already been set aside. It's already bonded real money. So we're going to expedite some of that activity to help expand the airport, grow a new gate, find a better ingress and egress, especially an egress out of the arrival area when you recognize you might pick up someone in Terminal 1 and you got to drive all the way to Terminal 5 to get out. It could be that backed up traffic, trying to find a way to get you out between Terminal 1 and Terminal 2. That type of construction and activity we want to actually jumpstart. Again, these three projects are an opportunity for Broward to move its economics forward. But the last thing I want to tell you about county projects and opportunities, because it's not just the county, it's the county inclusive of all 31 cities. The county passed the surtax back in 2018. And the bottom line about that surtax, we were going to be raising an average of about $355 million a year, every year, for the next 30 years to improve transportation operations, transportation services, and infrastructure throughout 31 cities. So even with COVID, we recognized we didn't have a whole lot of visitors. We didn't have a lot of tourists. We didn't have a lot of buying going on over the last 2 months. But you got to remember, the money that we're looking at spending this year came from that robust activity of spending last year. So we got that 355 plus million from last year that we're now going to be going into projects this year. Actually, due to a power outage that happened on Friday, we were getting ready to approve the 110 projects between the county and the 31 cities. That approval is going to take place next week now. Bottom line, I need you to know when it comes to surtax, and some of the city's projects are all going to be 3 million, 1 million, 600,000, right in that wheelhouse for my smallest of small businesses. That's going to be going out to the street for bids by the end of June, the beginning of July. So the cities, along with county projects under surtax, is going to have some real opportunities beginning of this summer. And again, that's the kind of commitment, that's the kind of information that you want to be aware of. You want to know that the county and the cities are spending money dealing exclusively with this surtax can only be used for transportation operations, transportation services, and infrastructure throughout the 31 cities. So the county has a website, pennyfortransportation.com. And then there's a website, which is also my website, that will constantly give you up-to-date information about those surtax projects. And we'll even be advertising the project surtax that comes from all 31 cities. Why will we be doing that? Because the county commission also voted. Not only was there a surtax that was successful, the county also decided 30% of eligible contracting opportunities for surtax, including the city spend. 30% must be done with our certified small businesses. So there's getting ready to be a multitude of opportunities. In addition to minus COVID, the last 2 years, Broward County has procured over $1 billion in goods, materials, and services each year. And again, we buy a lot. We don't buy everything, but we've also been opening up new doors in terms of things we haven't procured with small businesses, or some procurement where small businesses were left out. We've been having success in making sure that most, if not as close as we can get to all of the county procurement where eligible, there's small business participation. So we're just asking, and we're appreciative again of having this opportunity with Ms. Hollis to be here today. Stay in touch with our office, send an email, or go to my broward.org econ dev site, and you can subscribe to our Wednesday newsletter. Comes out every Wednesday about 6:15. And all the things I'm saying and more is in that newsletter. I'm not going to kill you with a whole bunch of emails, but that's a newsletter you want to have to know what we're doing, know what projects are coming out. Each week, I even do a section called Hot Tips. I'm letting you know in advance what you can expect. But that newsletter we find to be very beneficial, and I'm told by my small businesses is very beneficial for what they see in there about getting ahead of the game. But because of COVID, because of this virtual, and even before this virtual, we've always wanted you guys to reach out to us directly. You know, at the end of the day, we still take virtual meetings now. We take conference calls. We'll do Skype and Zoom. Don't allow COVID to smother your business if you're still committed to growing your business. Ms. Hollis said it through a workshop we had earlier. It's unfortunate. 25% of the businesses may not come back. You also got to remind you, there's about 9% of the 25 who's not coming back, who also is going to consider retooling and pivoting and doing something new. Give us that opportunity if you're interested. But if not, then at the end of the day, we're still willing to work with you in any way we can, but use the links and use our address to find out more about what we do. And thank you for having me.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Thank you so much, Sandy. I continue, and I remember hearing, and you alluded to it, is they're saying that COVID is only the virus. Lack of preparedness is the true crisis. We are doing all we can. We have not stopped working. We're all working from home. We continue to service small businesses daily. And we want to use the small businesses. We're trying to empower you with more information so that you can capitalize on this time. They're saying that so many people that go in and use this time wisely will come out more invigorating, more prepared to capitalize on future opportunities. Wednesday mornings, 8 a.m., I'm on a prime contractor meeting. We continue to work. And of the 65,000 businesses that you say in Broward County, it was alarming to us to hear in the city of Miramar that less than 650 are certified. You cannot access these opportunities without being certified. We partnered with Sandy and his team. Jennifer and her team were there. We had individuals here in February doing a certification workshop. We can only do as much as we can, but trust me, businesses, use this time wisely. This is the perfect time when you're preparing your paperwork to be able to access those loans. That same paperwork is what is necessary. And we'll be working with Sandy's team again next month in June to be able to do more certification, because these are the tools that you will need to position yourself to access. So thank you again, Sandy Mcdonald. A lot of questions are coming in. Thank you so much, Jennifer and her team. They've been really busy answering questions. We've been holding yours off, Mr. McDonald, so waiting for you to finish. And now that you've concluded, we'll start releasing your questions to you. Thank you all so much. Continue to specify who you're sending the questions to. Jennifer and her team, they've been doing a great job responding to all of those questions. And so what we would like to do, another thing that positions us to be able to do our job more effectively, is polling. We have a few questions that we would like for you all to answer so that we could best position ourselves to be able to give you what you need. So now we have a quick poll of few questions that we'd like for you all to answer right quick. Go ahead with the quick poll. You ready, Paul? Excellent. I understand that I can keep talking while they're doing the poll, so that's even great. So you continue to answer those poll questions. Dade County was represented. We have Broward County, without a doubt, Palm Beach County. None other than Mr. Frank Hayden. I see that you are muted, Mr. Hayden. When I became a small business, I heard this gentleman say years ago, it is your responsibility as a small business to make sure that I do not forget who you are. This is an individual that goes above and beyond. He and his team for years have gone above and beyond the call of duty to assist small businesses in securing contracting opportunities, being able to navigate them beyond that solicitation process. I was a small business that benefit from the amazing work that they do in Palm Beach County. And so in addition to presenting the businesses with a list of contracting opportunities, Mr. Hayden, that I know you've come to do firms have to be certified to secure contracting opportunities in the city of West Palm Beach, I'd like to know, can firms that do not have a physical location in West Palm Beach be able to do business with the city? And are there ways for small minority and disadvantaged, especially those micro businesses we've been talking about, that cannot compete with the solicitation process, be able to secure all of these contracting opportunities that are going to be available? And last but definitely not least, does the city of West Palm Beach accept unsolicited proposals? If so, who should the businesses present these to, and how can they ensure and position themselves for more access? Without further ado, Mr. Frank Hayden.
Well, thank you very much, Karen, for having us here. I tell you, going up behind the Broward and with the Miami school system, you know, we're a little fish in the pond here in South Florida, but we try to do our best. So thank you for having us. And as I said, we don't come anywhere close to the work that the people do there in Broward or with the Miami school system. But we do our fair share here in city of West Palm Beach and Palm Beach County to help small businesses be able to take advantage of the opportunities that we have here. We have a small business program. We also have a minority women business program. We have a disadvantaged service individuals program is here as well. We have a participation on our contract with the city of West Palm Beach. There is a 15% participation for SBEs, and for our M/WBEs, depending on what the disparity study that we had indicates would be the percentage that works with that. So with that, I see my presentation is up. So if you can go to the next slide, please. This just kind of tells you what it is we do in procurement, and we require the services, equipment, and supplies. The procurement division is responsible for procurement of goods and services and constructions of the highest quality at the most reasonable cost. Our responsibilities include solicitations, those are bids, proposals, and quotes, contracts and purchase orders. You'd move to the next slide, please. The authority that allows us to do this are positioned here, and whether it's through our procurement code, through the Florida statutes or Florida law, the U.S. code, the Office of Management and Budget, and uniform commercials. Next, please. We have a few ways that we can get your business, either through informal purchases. Those are for purchases under $50,000. We normally get quotes. Normally for $10,000, you can just end up giving a project to someone. Anywhere between $10,000 and $25,000, we'd like for you to get a minimum of 2 quotes. And between up to $50,000, we ask that you have a minimum of 3 quotes. For formal purchases, that's for over $50,000. Those are done through bids and proposals. And we have non-competitive contracts. That is, we're able to piggyback off of other governmental contracts, or we can go to state contracts. Next. And we procure just about everything in goods and services, utility and infrastructure. That's the water management and roadways. And we have participation for community events, libraries, parks and rec, through creative arts, special events, and training. Next. And the best way to be able to work with us is you have to know the requirements of the solicitation and the contract. Questions like, does your firm have the required certification? Does your firm have the necessary experience? Does your firm have the capacity to take on new work? And does your firm have financial capabilities and insurance. Next. As I talked about, we have an M/WBE and an SBE program, and you can get certified with the city as provider of goods and services. Professional consultants can be pre-qualified for specific city projects. It's either an architectural, engineering, landscape, mapping, or survey. Next. The benefits of being certified is that on proposals, you can get anywhere between 5 to 10 to 15 points in the proposal evaluation. We have goal settings. There's a 5% bid preference. We have customized meet and greets. There's bid debriefings, education and training, invitations to network, direct meetings with city staff, and we also have a banking and consortium network. And just quickly before I move from here, thank you. We have what we call a bid, BBB, a bid to bidder, where we invite in proposers, and they have an opportunity to do their sales pitch, as I call it, before the department directors who can use their services. That has helped tremendously so that our directors get to know those contractors out there who have not had a chance, as I like to say, to feed at the trough. We also have a sheltered market program here where we are able for projects under $500,000 that we can shelter that only certified SBEs can participate in that bid. And what we have to do is be able to determine that there are a minimum of at least 3 certified SBEs who can perform that task before we can shelter the project. But our latest piece, and the one I'm most proud of, is we understand with most small businesses, they have problems in a couple of areas. One is in bonding, the other is in capital. And so we've developed a relationship with some local banks here in West Palm Beach. There's 3 of them, Valley National, Seacoast, and Flagler. And they have agreed that for businesses who have contracts with the city of West Palm Beach, that they'll be willing to provide them with either a line of credit or some upfront capital. Now, they have to meet the criteria to be able to make that possible, but they are willing to make that a possibility. Next slide. This is a list of a number of the upcoming projects that we have. If you reach out to us, we can make that available. It's on our city website. We also advertise in the Palm Beach Post and in trade publications. And all of this is available on Demand Star. Next. Next steps. We want you to be aware of what's going on in the city. Be creative. Can you do it better? Be solution. Can you fulfill a need? And I'll say lastly, come talk to us. We are very aggressive in our efforts to help businesses. Our city came up with close to $500,000 that we made available to city of West Palm Beach businesses to help them through this COVID-19. You had to be within the city's limits in order to be able to apply for those funds. And so we are just about to the bottom of the barrel on that. And that's our effort to be able to provide opportunities for our small businesses and our minority-owned businesses here in the city. I like to say, like they say in the church, the doors of the church are open. And I'm telling you, the doors of the city of West Palm Beach are open. Come visit us. Come do business with us, because we'll welcome you and we want to have you here. So.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Mr. Hayden. And I know so many businesses, unfortunately, do not capitalize on those bid debriefing workshops. That is the place where so many prime contractors are trying to develop teams. And I continue to be amazed that a lot of businesses don't take advantage of those opportunities. You also talked about the positioning and the things that you're doing. I remember when Sandy mentioned about Mr. Matthew, he's a prime contractor that's actually doing the Broward Convention Center. Mr. Matthew literally had a meeting looking for opportunities and accepting capability statements from small businesses. We were trying here at Miramar, even letting the businesses know about that meeting that's going to be coming up and making sure that they get their capability statements. We cannot stress enough preparedness. Get yourself positioned so that you can capitalize on all of these opportunities. We have, in terms of bonding, there's a firm in the city of Miramar that's been in business, a bonding firm, female-owned bonding firm, that's been in business in the city of Miramar that specializes in assisting. Reach out to us and let us know and give us your information if you are having trouble trying to get yourself bonded. There is a local Miramar bonding firm that works closely with and assists countless small businesses, micro businesses, helping you to navigate, helping you to understand the nuances and the little smaller things that you may not be secure and capable of being able to position to get that bonding. But these experts are ready, available, and here to help you. Now, we have two more poll questions that we would like for you to answer like right quick, and then we have a special treat for you that's going to be coming up next. You could just please answer those poll questions for us. This is how you position us to get the data that we need to be able to continue to develop programs that are not just meaningful and not just available, but that are meaningful and can really help you in trying to secure your businesses. And we thank you so much. Mr. Hayden, just like the other ones, now that you are no longer speaking, thank you, Mr. McDonald, for being so diligent about answering those questions for us. Mr. Hayden, those questions that are being navigated and directed toward you, we will start forwarding them to you, and we appreciate your willingness to answer the questions of our attendees. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Excellent. All right, thank you all so much for answering those poll questions for us. Last but definitely not least, AKA my boss, we have Mrs. Anita Fain Taylor. I came to know about this woman over maybe 30 years ago when I was harassing her husband, Mr. Norman Taylor, to try to hire me to help him with small businesses, literally over 25 or 30 years ago, because my husband took my small children. I was constantly trying to become a member of Mr. Norman Taylor's team, and at that time I heard about his amazing wife. Director Taylor is no stranger to many people, definitely not the individuals on this panel, but she's been a leader and a force to be reckoned with in the government agency and forum industry for a number of years. When the city was looking to expand its business program, he was able to connect and allow this dynamic duo, she and her husband, to come on board and help us develop even more initiatives. I know she's going to be providing contracting opportunities. I am so happy that our procurement director, Alicia Aoun, I see she is still on the line, and this tax team are going to be able to give you some upcoming contracting opportunities for the city of Miramar. Also, Director Taylor is going to let you know about some of these amazing opportunities and initiatives that we're doing through the Economic and Small Business Development Department. So that without further ado, Anita Taylor, as well as Alicia Aoun, please take the floor.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Hollis. Before I begin, I'd like to, I have 3 points. First and foremost, thank you, Dr. Hollis, and Business Inclusion and Diversity for putting on this webinar, and that this webinar will be available and recorded so that if anyone missed it today, they'll be able to go on our website and see it later. This is going to be the new normal, but I think we're headed in the right direction, and thank you for your leadership with regards to that. Secondly, I want to thank Jennifer, Sandy, and Frank for your presentation. So much information. I took notes. I'm sure we're going to do a few things that you're doing, and we really do appreciate it. Third, Sandy said everything that I wanted to say and then some. So in the future, if we are on a panel together, I want to go first or if I can't go before Sandy, just take me out of it altogether, because I mean, he's a wealth of information, a great resource. So thank you, Sandy, for being on the line. Before we get into the slides about the upcoming opportunities that we have available with the city of Miramar, I want to touch upon some of the things that we're doing. Some of the information may be redundant, but to me, that's okay, because it's worth repeating. Important information is worth repeating. First and foremost, when Dr. Hollis came on board, there was some feelings about this from the small business community about them not having access to procurement opportunities. So Dr. Hollis and her team, they took a basic poll to find out, well, you know, why aren't they getting these contracts? And she found that many of them were not registered vendors with the city. So in an effort to make them more better prepared for procurement opportunities, Dr. Hollis and her team put forth workshops so that these small businesses would not only be capable of going for bids in Miramar, but also the county as well. So I'd like to focus on a few workshops that we've had in the past, which I'm sure will continue to move on into the future through a web-based type activity. Some of the workshops included insurance bonding and credit repair. I think Frank talked about that was an area that they realized that some of the small businesses had challenges, and we did too. So every year we hold a workshop on that. Another workshop we host is vendor registration, of course, showing them how to register to be a vendor here in the city. They can do it online, of course, but we have people there available to assist them. We also host workshops about certification. And Dr. Hollis mentioned prior to COVID, we had all of the certification entities here in Miramar to assist businesses in becoming certified. And of course, we host financial workshops. Sandy had mentioned that they have the 3 Ps. I'd like to say we have the 3 Ws. We hold workshops, and like I said earlier, it's led by Dr. Hollis and her team, not just by her team, but partnering with other organizations and other small businesses who have created a specialized type of business that can present to other small businesses. I really love how we use small businesses to help other small businesses. Going forward, due to distancing requirements, of course, the other W will be webinars. Similar to this webinar today, Dr. Hollis has put into place a plan for other webinars to support small businesses. And what I love about the webinars, businesses don't have to leave their business in order to participate. Or even if they can't participate, they can go back later and review it. And I think that expands our reach far more than if someone had to physically leave their small business and come physically to a webinar. And the third W, I talked about workshops, I talked about webinars. The third one is walking. Our outreach people actually go door to door, meeting with small businesses, ensuring that they have information on programs, financial resources, and other information so that those small mom and pop type businesses who may not be computer savvy, that they are able to receive the information as much as someone who may have web accessibility. Every Monday, we publish a business post that goes out electronically to businesses who pay the business tax receipts. And not only do we provide information about what we're doing here in Miramar, we provide information that may be of value to any small business. For example, when COVID, as we're reopening as a result of COVID, we provided information about grants, seminars that Broward County was hosting, SBA webinars, and other types of resources. We not only provided information about government loans and grants, we also provided other types of grants that were available to small businesses that were suffering. So we use our business pulse as a way to reach out to our businesses. Now I'll go on to the procurement. As I mentioned earlier, one of the things that was realized that there were businesses that were not registered. If you want to do business with the city of Miramar or any government entity, like I said, it's worth repeating, you have to register as a vendor, and that registration can be done in all cases online. And you can get to ours from the City of Miramar's website, miramarfl.gov, and go to the procurement department. And from there, you can register as a vendor and you can learn about our bid opportunities. And those are the bid opportunities that I'll go over really quickly. And we'll start with, I don't want to read through each and every one. Do you want me to read through each and every one, Dr. Hollis, or do you want me to just? Some of these will be closing soon, so I will definitely mention those.
Correct.
We're looking for a guaranteed energy, water, and wastewater performance savings contracting services. That is due by the end of June. That's June 30th. If you're interested in participating in that, you really do need to go to the city's website to obtain the information. Sandy had mentioned that they use BidSync. We use a different program called Demand Star. So you would want to go onto our site and then link on to Demand Star so that you can register to receive our bid notices automatically. The next one is for professional services for sustainable renewable energy and conservation initiative. And then the third one is liquid polymer purchase. Let's go to the next slide, please. We have a few construction projects as a result of surtax funds that we are working with the Broward County Metropolitan Planning Organization. It's the extension of Pembroke Road and Miramar Parkway to US 27, a bicycle lane construction, and a planning study for bicycle lanes along Pembroke Road. Now, these have not been advertised as of yet, so this is a great opportunity for you to get in, get your registration, and do what's all that's necessary. Now, the city does not certify firms. We refer people, of course, to Broward County. They are our partner. In fact, Sandy has a YouTube link on how to become certified, and we put that link on our business post because we thought it was so important for our businesses to understand and know the certification process, and that we did a very good job on that. An invitation to bid will be advertised within the next 5 to 8 months. These are our, of course, construction-related projects, and Dr. Hollis, you touched upon construction projects are still moving forward. Extension of the westbound right lane of Miramar Parkway, another Miramar Parkway intersection, and the Anson Sports Complex. And then I'll flip to the next slide. Although economic development and procurement are in separate departments, we truly do work hand in hand. As Dr. Hollis mentioned, she participates on different bid meetings and construction meetings just to make sure our small businesses have a voice and that they're included within our construction and procurement processes. So I strongly encourage each and every one of you to, number one, register as a vendor with each entity that's on this webinar today. Just go online and do it. Make it a goal to do it before the end of the week. And if you're not certified as an SBE, CBE, et cetera, please do so with all 3 counties, because some counties don't take other people's SBE and CBE certifications. So you should be certified in each county. And once again, thank you so much for this opportunity. And we look forward to additional webinars in the future. Thank you, Dr. Hollis, and thank you everyone for participating. My questions, I'm going to refer to Sandy.
I was just about to let you know we will release the questions being directed to you now that you finished your presentation, and questions continue to come in, and we're so excited about that, attendees. access and take advantage of this opportunity. Now, we will be working with Mr. McDonald's team on June 25th. We will be navigating businesses through the certification process. If you are registered and if you're not registered and you received our invitation, we will be sending you an invitation to that webinar. I believe that the majority of the questions have been answered, which I love and appreciate. And that's the efficiency of this, because what we wanted to do is to not capitalize or take too much of your time for this process. Again, all of the questions that have been directed to me will be answered. Every question will be answered. Please allow me time at the conclusion of this webinar. I cannot thank you, Mr. McDonald, Mr. Hayden, Ms. Andrea, Jennifer, Andreu. How much, can I tell you how much we appreciate everything that you do, and you continue to be our supporters, you continue to be our community partners, and we appreciate you so much. And Director Taylor, all of the initiatives that we continue to make available throughout the city of Miramar. Businesses, we are here for you. Anything and everything, every webinar, every presentation that's been presented will be available on our website of the Economic and Business Development website at the conclusion of the webinar. Thank you all again so much. Thank you for your patience. And this concludes our webinar for this afternoon. Ms. Anita Taylor, you will be the closing leader to close out the webinar for us this afternoon. I don't know if we have any other leaders that would like to speak at this time. I do see that we have other individuals on. Director Taylor?
I do know that Alicia had to exit the webinar because she had another meeting regarding the surtax. And I'd like to relay to you that she really wanted to be here and to share what her department is doing in the area of procurement. I hope I gave it a little bit of justice, but I thank you all for being here today. And we've covered the Tri-County area. Once again, this is just not a webinar. This is a call to action for our small businesses, a call to action to register as a vendor, again, with the different entities, as well as if you need to become certified, to go through each county and start your paperwork today. As mentioned, construction projects are moving forward. And just because you hear it is a construction project, you may think, oh, well, I'm not construction, but there's some administrative work that's done with construction projects. So it's not always brick and mortar. It can be administrative. It can be office supplies, any number of things. The opportunity could exist within a construction project. So don't sell yourself too short. And also, as someone mentioned previously, network with other businesses. The city of Miramar provides an incentive to our businesses, our small businesses, to become members of the Miramar Pembroke Chamber of Commerce. So I encourage you as a small business to network. As many people mentioned, get to know the people within the different offices where these contracts are being advertised and such, and just go out there and take a chance. It'll be well worth it. So thank you.
Excellent. And I will be sending information on how to become a registered vendor with the city of Miramar to each and every registered participant. Thank you again. Continue to be safe. Thank you so much. And know that we are here for you. Have a good afternoon. This concludes the webinar.